Good evening, everybody. This is Parent Capital Investments. So I just wanted to do a quick little update on what's been going on over at my channel and in my life, and what's been going on in the market, and how I've been approaching the market lately. So if you haven't been keeping up, I haven't really been on and keeping up with the videos because the last couple months the market's been pretty up in the air. It's kind of been a market that I'm not really used to. So I've kind of stepped back from really being aggressively trading in the last couple months, just simply because I didn't really know where the market was going. There's been so much fear going on. So the last couple months I haven't really lost any money. I haven't really made any money. I've kind of stepped back and really reevaluated what my approach was going to be in the current market that we're in. So before I really go into this, I just want to read the brief disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. Anything I say or mention is for educational purposes only. I may or may not hold the stocks that I mention. Please do your own research before trading. Stocks require a lot of risk, so it is up to you as a trader to manage your own risk. Okay, so like I said, I've kind of stepped back a little bit. I've been working a little bit more hands-on with my friends and family and the people that are kind of in my circle of influence. I've kind of been working with them more hands-on on the stock market, and I also just didn't really want to post a lot of videos because it's been a really hard market lately. The last couple months have been pretty hard. A lot of people that I know have been pretty red, and I just didn't want to post stocks for people or even really mention stocks that people, especially in this time, if people are having a hard time, because I know I was having a hard time. So I just kind of stepped back and said, I'm going to really just focus on some plays that I really believe in long term, and I'll just wait for the market to come back around and really just develop an approach and find things that I really like in the meantime for the future market that would come. And if you're new to the market just goes through seasons and cycles, and that's just the way that it is. Sometimes we go through bearish cycles, sometimes we go through bull cycles. We also have like the Dow theory that comes in where we have cycles every so many years. So what I've been doing is I've kind of stepped back from small caps and OTC. There are a few OTC stocks that I am now getting into again. Like I'm pretty bullish on EPAS, GYST, and UAMM. Those are kind of the only three that I'm really focused on at the moment, and I've only taken small positions in. But the purpose of the video isn't really to talk about the OTC. This one's more towards the crypto, because crypto is going along with the NASDAQ and the Dow right now, and we've been kind of downtrending the last couple months here, and I just really wanted to talk about what my approach is with that. So a couple months ago, I kind of started only, the small caps and the OTC started retracing, and metaverse stocks were really starting to pick up. Metaverse cryptos, gaming cryptos. So I kind of switched my account over to that, and I've kind of restarted my OTC account just recently. But I went after the metaverse stocks. I made some money there. But now, in the current state that the market's in, what I'm really doing is I'm just loading up on cryptos that I really believe in strongly. And this isn't a video to tell you, hey, you should buy this, or anything like that. None of this is financial advice. I just kind of wanted to show you exactly what I'm kind of going after and what I'm seeing on the current charts, the levels that I'm looking at, and the loading zones that I'm kind of looking at. But mainly I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin here, because I am kind of using Bitcoin as my influencer for the other cryptos that I'm going for. So when Bitcoin's at specific levels and buy zones, I'm also adding the cryptos that I'm most bullish on. So I'm going to quickly just talk about Bitcoin here, and then I'll just give you a brief run over of some of the cryptos that I'm looking at. But really, in reality, a lot of the charts all kind of look the same. So I'm probably not going to pull up all those charts, but so where we're at with Bitcoin here, I mean, as you can see, we've broken down below this 40,000 level. I'm going to pull up on the weekly here. So we kind of had this head and shoulders pattern here. You know, it's kind of debatable whether or not this actually is considered a head and shoulders. But to me, I considered it a head and shoulders. So, right about this range on the shoulder here, I kind of just started to scale out of my crypto accounts. And I was really watching this 40,500 level. And the reason that I was watching that level is because this is the weekly chart. And as you can see, in the past year, so back in January of last year here, January 2021, was our first time breaking above that 40,500, and we kind of got rejected. And then we eventually broke through it again. We tested again, then broke through it pretty good, and then we ended up coming back to test it. And when we tested it, we failed pretty hard and fell right through that. And then it tested it a couple more times in here, and then eventually pushed right through, come back and retest it, and then eventually we've come back and retested it, and finally broke down below it. So this level has a lot of history in the past year here, where crypto has really, that's the specific level that Bitcoin has been really kind of fighting with back and forth for this past year. So it's kind of crazy to think about that the price that we're sitting at right now is about the same price that we were sitting at last January. So that's the level that I'm really watching for. And that's kind of the level that I'm looking for a confirmed reversal or a confirmed uptrend where we're going back up. There's a lot of fear in the market right now that people think that we're in a bear cycle. And I don't necessarily think that we're in a bear cycle. I think that we're just in a bearish moment. And the reason for that is because we have not broke below this line. Just as the 40,500 level has been a good key indicator of our previous resistance and supports over this past year, we've also got some history with this bottom line here, which I'm using as my floor essentially, which is around the 29,800 or so level. So if we started closing candles below the 29,000, then to me personally, that, in my opinion, I would say that we are probably entering into a bearish cycle or a bearish market that, a bearish market could last 4 months. It could last 4 years. It's all kind of debatable for people on that, depending on who you ask. But, this could count as a couple months right here, or even almost staying near 3 months if we ended up actually breaking down and going, who knows where the bottom would be. Heaven forbid we bust below that 28,000 or 29,000 level, though. And this level is kind of debatable, too, because, I can move it down and touch these candles, and we'd be, in the 28,000. But touching more candles, if I put it up here, we're right at that 30,000. So this is the buy zone that I'm kind of looking at. And I'll switch to the daily here. And it's been interesting because yesterday I've been posting a lot in the Webull chats and gaining a following in Webull here. But I posted a couple days ago when we were also at the 36,000 level, that there's a lot of people waiting to buy under between the 28,000 and 32,000. Like, that's why I really enjoy these platform comment section, because you can get a good judge of the emotions of other traders and kind of use that to the advantage. And when I'm noticing that everybody is saying, 28,000 to 32,000, and I can assume then that people are really starting to look at that buying range. I've been making some comments and posts on Webull that, one of the scenarios that I think will pan out is because I know that there's so many people expecting that level. What would probably happen was we would hit that 33,000, and that, right above everybody's buy orders, and they would begin to push the price up, causing some emotions where people would begin to chase. And that's kind of what happened today. Like, we hit this 32,946, and then we just kind of immediately, we started pushing up, and then there was quite a bit of volume that came in today, where I think there was a lot of that fear of missing out. So the next move here is, the question remains, is how many people are left under that 32,000, because, if you look at this, some people are saying that this is a reversal, and it could be. I wouldn't really confirm a reversal, in my opinion, until we break back above this 40,500 level that we've been kind of fighting the last year. Once we get over that, I'm pretty much done buying anything. So I'm using this range, this channel here. That's my buy zone, basically. So when I cashed out of Bitcoin up here somewhere, or I didn't sell all my positions, but I'd say that I emptied my bags like 3/4 of the way. Just because I started to plan that I was going to buy the dip. So once we broke below this 40,000, the coins that I've been looking at, I've just been adding every time Bitcoin drops 1,000. So from 40,000, I've just been, every 1,000 that it's dropped, I've just been collecting. And so I got some 33s today, 33,000. I added on all my altcoins, I added on Bitcoin. And if it keeps going up from there, like, I'm not re-adding higher prices than what I previously got. So if it drops to 32,000, I'll buy us a little bit more. But if it goes up to 37,000 today, I'm not going to be buying anymore. But this is kind of the buy zone that I've been looking at. And everybody's kind of saying the reversal, and it could be, but I mean, you could also debate that this is kind of a bearish flag here. It's just been really odd because the RSI has been really oversold. The MACDs have really been going pretty far down, that you would expect a reversal. So it's very possible. It's also possible that the RSI could just be cooling off, but this is the buy zone that I've been adding in, and the reason I just keep pointing that out is because this 30,000 or 29,000 level is a real possibility, and I'm aware of that, so I know what my risk is loading in this zone. Like, I started buying right under the 40,000, so if it started falling under the 30,000, 29,000, I know what my risk is right now, and what, going into it, I knew what my risk was. So the other thing is, if I look at the monthly, we do have a pretty good bounce off the 21-day moving average on the monthly chart right now. So, to me, I think that's a pretty good sign right now, but I guess we're going to see how the month ends here. What was the other thing that I wanted to say? Oh yeah, the other reason that I don't really necessarily think that we're in a bear market, people have told me Bitcoin has dropped like 50%, and I think it's actually been like 53% that Bitcoin has retraced from its all-time high here up at the 69,000. But 53% doesn't necessarily mean to me, when I hear 53%, that doesn't necessarily mean to me that we're in a bear market. Because when I think about back in like 2017, Ethereum was at like 1,400 something, and we actually went into a bear market, and Ethereum went back to like $88. It was like a 93 or 94% retrace, which is pretty insane. And if we were in a true bear market, I would think that could be necessarily where we might be heading. But I don't really see any indication of that. I do think eventually we will have a bear market, but I'm expecting it more so, after the summer, maybe even after the new year of next year, especially when the feds are really starting to reamp their interest rates. Yeah, it's just crazy that there's so much stuff going on right now. It's really hard to judge the market and where things are going, but it's been pretty easy for me to judge the emotions of other traders, and I've kind of just been using that to my advantage. So, yeah. So, like what I was saying about going back to what the things that I'm really just mostly bullish on, that I'm really looking at. I have stepped back and I've kind of reevaluated my approach long term to the cryptos, and I've really just sat down and asked myself, where is crypto going? Like, what is the end thing going to look like? Because right now we're still in the beginning stages of crypto. It's starting to be picked up, it's starting to gain momentum, it's starting to gain attraction from hedge funds and banks and retail investors, and they're starting to go after 401ks and Roths and IRAs. It's becoming more and more adopted. But there's so many damn cryptos out there, and I've just been really evaluating where things are going, and I've been really paying attention to what the central banks have been saying and what the feds have been saying. And the ones that the banks are really interested in are the ones that are ISO 222 or 20,022, I guess, compliant, are the ones that the feds are really interested in. Those are the ones that the central banks are really interested in. And right now, there's only about 5 of those that really are compliant at the moment. So, me looking at them, I think that they are going to be the ones that are for sure going to be around in the future. All the other cryptos, there probably will be other projects. Like, I really like what Sandbox is doing. I really like what Mana is doing. A lot of those metaverse stocks, I really like what those are doing. But my bigger positions are ones that are in the ISO certification. And those ones are like XRP and XLM, Algo, I believe XDC and IOTA are in there, but they are not available for me to trade, so I haven't been really accumulating those. And then I know Quant and Hbar, it's kind of up in the air whether or not they are compliant, but they for sure are working on that. So those are also ones that I'm pretty bullish on for the future. We're talking like 5-10 years from now. Those are the ones that I'm really accumulating in this time. And then there's smaller projects that I'm really liking. Like I said, the Sandbox. And let's see, what other ones am I... Matic's pretty good too. And Solano, that's the other thing. These prices, man, are just absolutely insane. Like Solana at $88. Like, holy smokes. Talking from highs of like 250 all the way down here. I mean, if we're not in a bear market and we're just kind of in this like fear and correction phase, which is what I think that we're in. It is what it is until it isn't. So until Bitcoin breaks down below that 28,000 level area, I'm just going to be still bullish. And even if it does break below that 28,000, I might even still just hang on to these cryptos that I believe in, that are more long term. And I'll just kind of hang back from really going after my small caps or OTCs or, the other cryptos other than the ISO certification ones. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with things. Make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, so that's exactly pretty much what I'm doing. Whenever Bitcoin is pulling down towards this level, I'm just continuing to accumulate the stocks or the cryptos that I really like, and whenever it gets back over this 40,500, I'm pretty much done adding anything else at that point. And then I believe that the reversal has been confirmed if we get back above that level. But looking back at the last time that we were kind of in this channel, I mean, we went from May 19th all the way to July. So there's 3 solid months where we were trading in this level, and that very well might be the scenario that we could be heading into. But it's just be aware of that and know where we're going. I think there's a lot of trying to fake people out and fake retail investors out, and people like you and I trying to fake us out, get us the chase, get us to sell. Another theory could be too is, if you guys have been paying attention to the Ripple versus SEC case, that could be also a big determination of whether or not we have Bitcoin breaks out of this channel. That could be what breaks Bitcoin out of this channel, and the reason is because that SEC case, like, everybody thinks that it's just Ripple versus the SEC, but really it's about crypto clarity with the SEC. So whether Ripple wins or loses, the final outcome is that there will be clarity from the SEC on where they stand with cryptos and what really the real guidelines that the SEC will be using. So that's something to really just pay attention to. Even if you're not in Ripple, you should, or in XRP, you really should be paying attention to that court case and what that outcome is coming or having. But even if you're not in XRP, we should be really rooting for Ripple to win that case. So, anyways, thanks guys for watching this video. I hope this was kind of helpful for you on where we're going with Bitcoin and cryptos in general. Overall, like I said, I'm very bullish on cryptos. So I'm just accumulating the ones that I truly believe in. And if you truly believe in Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever it is, those are the ones that you should probably accumulate for the future. I kind of named off some of the ones that I'm looking at, but overall, I would just be aware of this channel that we're in or have re-entered into, and what our breaking floor is and what our breaking resistance is. But either way, no emotions. Whether this goes down or up, it doesn't really faze me at all. Like I said, I'm kind of just accumulating for the long haul at this point. And yeah, just gonna wait out the storm. But anyways, if you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me. You can email me. You can reach me on Twitter, Facebook, yeah, anything. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. Yeah, comment below. Thanks, guys, and you have a good night.